Hey team, what's up? My name is Austin. I'm 23 years old. I have IBD and I've been to the hospital 3 times for my moderate to severe ulcerative colitis. So next up we have tips, tricks, and advice. And now number 1 on my list is going to be do not fall or pass out. Because if you fall or pass out in the hospital, you'll be put on fall risk, and that will give you bed alarms at night. And with an active UC flare, the last thing you want is to have any restrictions between you and getting to the bathroom. So make sure you're hydrated, and I would recommend always giving yourself a good 5 seconds sitting on the edge of the bed before you stand up to go to the bathroom or go somewhere if you are anemic. All right, so I definitely have some Irish blood in me, and so I will power through discomfort just for the sake of being stubborn. I recommend you do not do this and that you communicate to your nurse on how you are feeling, because there are things that they can give you to help. For example, if your colon is contracting and you are having cramps that are painful, ask for anti-cramping medication. If you are having acid reflux, ask for some Tums. If you are feeling nauseous, ask for anti-nausea medication. These things are simple. Don't be stubborn like me and just feel comfortable during your stay. Also, don't hesitate when it comes to going to the bathroom. Even if you feel like it might be a false alarm, the alternative is far worse. Having an accident is just bad for morale and quite defeating. So if you have to call someone to unhook you from something so you can go to the bathroom, do it right away. And if you happen to be on bed alarms for some reason and you know that you're not going to pass out because you shouldn't actually be on fall risk, then this is unofficial advice, of course. Just go for it. Just get up and go for it. Unofficial advice. Just go for it. So for me personally, I had like 3 or 4 incidences while I was in the hospital, and all of them were because like I either like hesitated or waited to make a decision to get things set up to go to the bathroom. So don't make the mistakes that I did. So if your IV is going to be hooked up for like an infusion, make sure you communicate with your nurse that you want to make sure that the battery is charged and that it's unplugged from the wall. That way you can be mobile in the event you have to get up and rush to the bathroom. This is a mistake that I made pretty early on, to where I was in the middle of the infusion, it was plugged into the wall. I had to call and wait for the nurse, and it just wasn't fun. So my second round in the hospital, I actually chose to wear my own clothes and not really put on the hospital gown unless like I went in for a procedure. And I would recommend you do this as well, just because like mental strength and psychology is important during your stay. And if you can not feel like a sickly, ill hospital patient through your clothing choice, then that's something that you should maybe try out. All right, so they say a body in motion will stay in motion, so I highly recommend that you get up and walk around as much as you can. So with ulcerative colitis and likely a lot of medications that you're taking, blood clots can be somewhat common, and so good exercise and blood flow minimizes that risk. Also, just like getting out of bed and existing as more than just a potato is going to be good for your mental health and stability. But Austin, I have UC and I have to rush to the bathroom all the time and it hurts. And I would say, yeah, but it's kind of worth the risk to get out and be on your feet. I mean, I was in the same boat as you. There were times where, I would just be walking around the hospital and, it would just hit me and I would have to get back to my room as quickly as possible. But I mean, my first stay in the hospital, I tried to get at least like 2 or 3 miles in every day, just kind of walking the halls. And the second time I was there, I upped that even more to like, I think 5 to 7 a day. And it's true, they were slow walks and sometimes painful, but I really do think that it was helpful. I would also recommend trying to limit the amount of time that you're actually like laying down in the hospital bed. For some reason, that thing can just be like magnetizing. Just like maybe try to sit in another chair in the room, or if there's just like sitting on the edge of the bed, anything to just keep you from just kind of laying there feeling like a zombie, I would recommend. Make sure you fit in some time to do stuff that makes you happy, whether it's like listening to music or calling your friends or reading a book. I mean, for me, in terms of like calling your friends is a big recommendation, or like talking to people that you care about. I was really private about my experience, and I didn't reach out to a lot of people. This is something that I should have reached out more. I mean, I kind of just function like that as a person, but definitely my recommendation would be to reach out to and talk to people instead of just like sitting with your lonesome thoughts while in the hospital. So having ulcerative colitis feels like it takes a lot away from you. And so I would recommend you try to find something that's like productive in your life that you kind of hold on to and anchor to, and don't let UC take away. For me, I was in the middle of doing a master's program, and I really didn't want to have to withdraw for the semester. And so during my time in the hospital, I was trying to focus on keeping up with my classes, which was a little bit stressful, but it was something for me that I needed to do to stay in the flow of my life. So if there's something like that for you, whatever it is, then try to hang on to it. Make sure that you keep a record of what happens to you, either in a journal or that calendar. It's kind of like what meds you're taking, what procedures are happening, and why. Make sure that you write down your bowel movements, like what time and what the quality was. I mean, I got pretty lucky in the room that I was in. There was actually a whiteboard where I could write down the times and quality of every time I had a stool movement, which is helpful for you to know, but also for the nurses and the technicians to have that information readily available. So that leads me to my next point, which is ask lots of questions. You know, what is this procedure? Why am I getting this medication? What are my other options? Why are we doing this? We put a lot of our trust into our healthcare providers, but I mean, mistakes do happen. People are human, and there is a spectrum of competency across all peoples in all professions. So, you know, you want to make sure that you are being your own advocate during this time. And so do not hesitate to speak up and get the information you need about what is happening to you medically during this time. So finally, like with UC, and now this is based on the best information I have, if you're on a solid food diet, you know, you have multiple small meals throughout the day, and that you try to stop eating around like 4 or 5 o'clock to give your gut time to heal, and that you want to try to keep things low fiber so you're not having to digest so much in the large intestine. Now, when you're in the hospital, this is kind of challenging because one, you are at the mercy of the hospital's food selections as well as the cycles in which they get food out. So I would recommend careful timing. Try to divide your meals when you get them and eat them, you know, several hours apart, as well as like if you get any snack options, just to make sure that you're kind of spreading the times out evenly throughout the day. That way you're not overloading your gut. And then, you know, try to stop eating by like, you know, 4 or 5 o'clock if you can. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you got something good out of it. If you want to check out more of my UC IBD videos, you can check out the playlist link in the description down below, or you can visit my channel. Happy healing. If you're in the hospital, hang in there. You got this. They're going to figure it out. You're going to figure it out. It's going to be okay. Leave a comment to share your experience about what you're going through right now. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Take care.